In the shadows of legends, some heroes never get the recognition they deserve. Maurice Cheeks is one of them. To casual NBA fans, the name might ring a bell as part of the Philadelphia 76ers dynasty that won the 1983 championship. But the truth is far more profound. Cheeks wasn't the flashy scorer, the highlight reel dunker, or the posterized guard. He was something rarer, a cerebral, defensive-minded floor general whose leadership and precision controlled games in ways that often went unnoticed. And yet, despite being a four-time All-Star and one of the premier defenders of his era, debates about his legacy often revolve around what he didn't do offensively. Could it be that the narrative of the 1983 title ignores the very guard who made it possible? Cheeks' story is not just about defense or championship glory. It's about how a quiet, disciplined player can shape a team's identity, dictate tempo, and impose order on an otherwise chaotic game. During the 1980s, the NBA was filled with scoring phenoms, high-flying guards, and superstar personalities. Yet Cheeks managed to stand out not with flamboyance, but with an unrelenting commitment to controlling the game's most overlooked details: perimeter defense, ball distribution, and stabilizing the locker room. This raises a compelling question. When we think of the architects behind a championship, do we overvalue scoring and undervalue control, poise, and defense? This is a story of understated dominance. It's a tale of a point guard whose contributions rarely made the highlight reels, but who nonetheless made Philadelphia's 1983 championship possible. It's also a story about how the media and fans often misread greatness, favoring spectacle over substance. By the end of this video, viewers will see Maurice Cheeks not just as a member of a title team, but as a blueprint for the kind of defensive, cerebral guard the NBA rarely celebrates, and perhaps one of the most underrated leaders of his generation. Maurice Cheeks' journey to the NBA began in the heart of Chicago, Illinois, where he grew up in a city that breathed basketball and demanded toughness on every street court. Born on September 8, 1956, Cheeks attended Westinghouse High School, where he distinguished himself as a naturally gifted guard with exceptional court vision, defensive instincts, and a leadership mentality well beyond his years. Unlike many of his peers, Cheeks wasn't primarily a scorer. He thrived on setting up his teammates, reading defenses, and dictating tempo. His talent earned him a scholarship to West Texas State University, a program not widely regarded as a basketball powerhouse. Yet Cheeks flourished, averaging 18.3 points, 6.1 assists, and 3.2 steals per game over his collegiate career. More importantly, he showcased a cerebral approach to the game, combining intelligence with relentless effort, qualities that would define his NBA career. By the time the 1978 NBA draft arrived, Cheeks' defensive instincts and leadership were widely recognized, but scouts were divided on whether a guard from a smaller program could handle the physical and mental demands of the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers, however, saw his potential, selecting him 36th overall in the second round. The expectations were clear. He wouldn't be the primary scorer, but he was expected to stabilize the backcourt, defend elite guards, and complement the team's existing stars like Julius Erving, Moses Malone, and Doug Collins. Joining a team that was perpetually in title contention put pressure on Cheeks to adapt quickly and make his mark in a league dominated by athletic scoring guards. Cheeks' rookie season in 1978-79 reflected both promise and the challenge of adjusting to the NBA. He averaged 8.8 points, 5.5 assists, and 2.0 steals per game, solid numbers for a second-round pick, and quickly established himself as one of the league's most reliable perimeter defenders. His patience with the offense and his ability to orchestrate plays allowed him to complement Philadelphia's superstars rather than overshadow them. But the pressure was immense. The 76ers were expected to compete immediately, and Cheeks was stepping into a league where guards like Magic Johnson and Nate Archibald set a high standard for point guard excellence. Cheeks didn't just survive the transition, he began laying the foundation for a career defined by intelligence, defense, and leadership. The 1980s marked Maurice Cheeks' rise from a reliable rookie into one of the NBA's premier point guards. By his third season, Cheeks averaged 11.3 points, 8.0 assists, and 2.7 steals per game, showcasing a rare combination of playmaking and defensive impact. While his offensive numbers were solid, what truly distinguished him was his ability to control games without needing to dominate the ball. Philadelphia's strategy revolved around high-octane scoring from Dr. Malone, and Cheeks' role as floor general was crucial. He orchestrated the offense, ensured efficient ball movement, and limited turnovers, a responsibility many overlook in modern evaluations of guard greatness. By the 1981 season, Cheeks was recognized league-wide as a defensive stalwart, earning his first NBA All-Defensive First-Team selection. That same season, he helped the 76ers reach the Eastern Conference Finals, proving his value in high-stakes playoff environments. Cheeks' style was methodical, yet disruptive. He combined lateral quickness, anticipation, and a psychological edge that frustrated opposing guards. Statistically, his steal totals ranked among the league's elite, and he frequently took on the toughest defensive assignments each night. Coaches and analysts began highlighting him not for scoring, but for the way he dictated the pace of games and anchored Philadelphia's defense. As the 1982-83 season approached, the narrative around Cheeks shifted. No longer just a supporting cast player, he emerged as a quietly dominant force, whose leadership and defense made the 76ers championship contenders. His assist-to-turnover ratio, court vision, and ability to pressure opposing guards made him indispensable. While stars like Malone commanded media attention for their rebounding and scoring, insiders recognized that Cheeks was the glue holding the team together. Philadelphia's coaching staff trusted him implicitly, and his maturation as a leader coincided perfectly with the team's march toward the 1983 NBA championship. Despite his undeniable contributions, Maurice Cheeks' career was not free from criticism. Some analysts argued that his offensive output, while efficient, was never flashy enough to warrant the same level of acclaim as scoring-focused guards. Critics contended that Cheeks was merely a distributor, or that his style relied too heavily on teammates' talent. This perspective overlooked the reality that Cheeks' impact on games was largely intangible. The way he shut down opposing perimeter threats, reduced turnovers, and set the tone defensively often escaped conventional box scores and highlight reels. Cheeks also faced scrutiny regarding playoff performances outside of the 1983 championship. While he consistently helped Philadelphia remain competitive, the team's reliance on superstars like Dr. J and Malone sometimes overshadowed his role. Media narratives occasionally positioned him as a complementary figure rather than a leader in his own right. Despite his steady influence on both ends of the floor, fans, drawn to highlight reel scoring and offensive statistics, often underestimated the strategic value Cheeks provided, contributing to a perception gap that has persisted for decades. Off-court dynamics added further complexity. The 1980s 76ers locker room, like many championship teams, had strong personalities and occasional tensions. Cheeks' quiet, disciplined demeanor sometimes contrasted with more flamboyant teammates, creating narratives that misrepresented his leadership style. Yet those same qualities, consistency, professionalism, and defensive accountability, were precisely why the 1983 team thrived. The criticism Cheeks faced, in retrospect, illustrates how defensive brilliance and understated leadership are often undervalued in a league dominated by scoring headlines. Maurice Cheeks' peak years were a testament to his dual mastery of offense and defense. From the early to mid-1980s, Cheeks averaged over 15 points, 7 assists, and 2.5 steals per game, while shooting efficiently and maintaining a steal percentage among the league's elite. His defensive prowess earned him 4 consecutive NBA All-Defensive First-Team selections from 1983 to 1986, cementing his reputation as one of the best defensive guards of his era. In 1983, he played a pivotal role in the 76ers' 65-win season, an eventual NBA championship, often tasked with guarding the opponent's most dangerous backcourt threats. Cheeks' accolades, however, extended beyond the traditional statistics. He was a 4-time NBA All-Star from 1983 to 1986, an acknowledgement of both his leadership and his impact on team success. While some guards of his era garnered attention for scoring, Cheeks distinguished himself as a model two-way player. He combined defensive assignments against elite guards with precise playmaking and a knack for facilitating offense under pressure. In championship contexts, such as the 1983 finals against the Los Angeles Lakers, Cheeks' calm control of the game and relentless defensive discipline allowed stars like Malone and Dr. J to operate with confidence, highlighting his indispensable contribution. Perhaps the most telling testament to his peak performance was how contemporaries and coaches discussed him. Many described Cheeks as the quiet engine of the team, the player who made everyone else better. His ability to combine defensive excellence with consistent playmaking in a high-pressure championship environment is rare, even when compared to modern NBA standards. Cheeks' peak reminds us that greatness isn't always measured in points. Sometimes it's measured in control, discipline, and the subtle art of making everyone around you better. After his playing career concluded in 1990, Maurice Cheeks transitioned to coaching, bringing the same cerebral approach to the sidelines. He served as head coach for multiple NBA teams, including the Portland Trail Blazers, Philadelphia 76ers, and Detroit Pistons, emphasizing defensive strategy and player development. His coaching philosophy reflected his playing style: disciplined, structured, and focused on accountability. While his coaching career did not replicate the championship glory of his playing days, it demonstrated the enduring respect the league held for his basketball intelligence. Cheeks' legacy has also been revisited in recent years as analysts re-examine NBA history through a defensive lens. Advanced metrics and film studies highlight how he pressured ball handlers, controlled tempo, and generated steals at critical moments. Hall of Fame discussions increasingly frame Cheeks as one of the defining defensive guards of the 1980s, a counter-narrative to earlier critiques that undervalued his contributions relative to more high-scoring contemporaries. In 2018, Cheeks' induction into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame reaffirmed his lasting impact on the game, cementing him as a benchmark for future generations of two-way guards. Even today, Cheeks' story resonates in conversations about NBA leadership, team building, and defensive excellence. Young guards studying film often cite him as a model of how to anchor a team without relying on scoring alone. His approach, marrying intelligence with effort, consistency with poise, serves as a template for modern players who aspire to control games on both ends of the floor. Cheeks' career turning point wasn't a single trade or injury, it was the realization that quiet leadership and defensive mastery could leave a legacy as profound as any scoring legend. Maurice Cheeks may never dominate highlight reels, but his impact in the 1983 Philadelphia 76ers championship and the NBA at large cannot be overstated. He embodies a rare kind of greatness, one measured in defensive stops, calm orchestration, and leadership that elevates a team beyond the sum of its parts. The debate over underrated players is often subjective, yet Cheeks' accolades, peak performance, and enduring influence prove that his value was both tangible and transformative. When history remembers the 1983 76ers, it will recall Julius Erving's aerial artistry, Moses Malone's rebounding dominance, and Doug Collins' scoring prowess. But it should also remember Maurice Cheeks, the guard who anchored the defense, directed the offense, and quietly controlled the fate of a championship team. His legacy reminds us that sometimes, the greatest players are the ones who win games without needing the spotlight, proving that leadership, intelligence, and defensive excellence are as vital as any highlight dunk or buzzer beater.